Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing very well. If you are new here, my name is Sophia, and I make bookish content, mainly mystery, thriller, and literary fiction books, but a little bit of everything. And today I am coming back to you guys with a little book review. This is a book that I read at the end of last year, and I'm still thinking about. Still is kind of living rent-free in my mind, and so that's how I know it's time to make a book review about it. And that, of course, is The Lion Woman of Tehran by Marjane Satrapi. All of my book reviews are spoiler-free, so I'll just include like details that would be on the front flap of the book and occasional quotes here and there, but nothing that I think would spoil the story or nothing that I would have thought would spoil the story for me. So just so you guys are aware, you can definitely watch if you haven't read the book yet. But this book is basically about two girls. It starts in the 1950s and takes place in Iran, and it follows them throughout really their whole lives. I want to just start this review by just talking about the title, because I think that it really sums up a lot about this book. And forgive me for a moment, I'm going to look at my phone so that I can read a quote to you. So the quote is, "Lionesses, us. Can't you see it, Ellie? Someday you and me will do great things. We'll live life for ourselves, and we will help others. We are cubs now, maybe, but we will grow to be lionesses, strong women who will make things happen." So the two main girls that I've talked about are Homa and Ellie. The friendship starts really on the first day of school, as many friendships do, and Ellie comes to school just having suffered the loss of her father. She feels really alone and scared, and she comes to school saying that she wishes she found a friend with, quote, calm eyes and a calm demeanor. But instead, she meets Homa, who is a girl who is very mischievous, a girl with mischief in her eyes. She's very fiercely independent, very loyal, and maybe not quite what she would have thought of or what she was originally hoping for in a new best friend, but somebody who she grows to love so much and also grows to love her family. There's a great quote on page 28 about that, where she says, "I couldn't define it at the time, but in retrospect, even from that very first visit, I wanted what Homa had. I wanted her family, her living father, her kind mother. I wanted her fat, edible baby sister. I wanted the warmth and safety of her home. I wanted the coolness of that kitchen, its cavernous magic, its ability to transform pomegranate seeds and dough into a dish divine and delectable. To my great shame, as I stood there, I had a flash of something awful happening to my mother. So I could become an orphan and be taken in by Homa's family. Folding into her clan would make me one of them, part of them. I adored her. I was already jealous of her." So there's this intense kind of love and admiration of her, but also wishing she had what Homa had, which is this full, loving family, which Ellie clearly doesn't. A lot of different things, of course, happen in this story, but it is truly grounded in their friendship. And throughout the many years and the different political changes in Iran, a lot of it really comes back to their friendship, their connection, the tumultuous times and the love between them. With all of the political changes, that kind of brings forth one of the initial kind of conflicts or differences between the girls. Ellie, who has lost her father, grows up with her mother, who's very conservative and really wants for nothing more than for Ellie to grow up and to be a mom and to be a woman in society. She doesn't want Ellie to ruffle feathers. She wants her to stay with the norm. And, Ellie hopes for some bits of change, but she also likes the idea of that comfort, likes kind of staying within what she knows. She does really look forward to one day when she's going to marry a man that she loves and become a mother. And that's very different from Homa. They have very different kind of outlooks on what they want in life. Homa, on the other hand, does not like the idea of this comfort of sitting back and, following the norms and having her whole life laid out for her. Instead, she wants to be at the center of the change, making the change happen. And she doesn't fear so much the danger of being at the heart of political progress. And despite this fundamental difference between the two, how they're responding to all the changes in their country, they both kind of are lion women in a lot of ways, living life for themselves, even if it's very different life that they're each living. I really loved how propulsive this was. I felt like this book was always kind of moving along. There weren't a lot of stagnant pages, which I appreciated. I felt like it was pretty readable. I never got really dragged down in parts of the story, and it felt like it moved along pretty nicely. However, in some ways, I did have quite a few issues with the pacing. I did like that it was fast paced and that I didn't feel dragged down in it, but I also felt like sometimes the characters were too quick to come to conclusions or too quick to forgive when it didn't quite feel realistic. You know, I'd look back and be like, 5 pages ago, we were in the middle of a really tumultuous moment, and now, you know, that whole thing has resolved, and I appreciated that kind of string of narrative plot and that we weren't dragged down, but I also felt like sometimes it wasn't the most realistic way that things might have happened between the girls and between other characters. I did also notice that there were some parts of the book that had a lot of like modern slang and modern words that kind of drew me out of the story, particularly words that wouldn't have been used so much in the 1950s or didn't feel like they fit in that time period. And it kind of took me out of the flow of the story when language like that and slang like that came up. However, I did feel like overall it's a pretty solid book. A story about friendship that was really beautiful, had quotes that I certainly wanted to remember. I really liked the writing overall. I thought it was pretty effective. And I believe this author has written a couple of other books too, which I'd be interested to check out. If you are interested in this political time period in Iran during, these years, particularly in the more modern parts, I would really recommend Persepolis, which is a series of graphic novels, also kind of a coming of age story that follows kind of a similar story, but is a solid 5 stars for me, and a group of books that I absolutely adored. So if you enjoyed this, you might also enjoy those books. But with that, I would love to know what you all thought of The Lion Woman of Tehran. What did you rate it? Did you really enjoy it? Let me know in the comments down below if you had some of the same critiques that I did, or maybe if they didn't bother you quite as much. And with that, I will see you guys very soon with another video. Thank you so much for watching.